All right, so I'm back. I just finished reading the book Love Unfinished by D.A. Alston. She is a new to me author. I will say that new to me authors have been my jam for the last couple of months. This cover, which I will place it somewhere here, I've seen this book for a couple of months, and there was just something about this cover that just intrigued me, and it made me want to read it. And I knew that it was coming out. I think it was sometime this week, and I was really interested in um, seeing what the book was about because they looked about like teenager, and I haven't read a teenager book in a very long time. And I will say this book was great because I'm so used to reading books where it's like falling in love, and it's like they hunch or they have sex throughout the book, or there's spicy scenes. There was literally no spice in this book, and it was a nice pace from what I'm used to reading. And she's a new to me author. I think this is her first book, and for it to be her first book, I think she did a very good job. I think it was funny. I think like the yearning or like the flirtation was great. The pacing was great. um I don't think, if I haven't read a college based book in a long time. So it was really nice to read something that was completely different. So the story follows Chase. Chase is supposed to be like the second coming of his dad. Very politically based. He's running to be president of the university. His dad wants him to be like president of the university, and then congressman, and then president later on in the future. That's a lot of stress, and he just wants to be essentially a regular college student, but he has anxiety of it. He has a hard time, trying to do what he wants to do versus what his dad wants to do. But his dad is like a political pundit, like congressperson, and he's running for, I forgot what type of seat, and he wants his son to follow in his footsteps. And then you have Aria. Aria is our grumpy sunshine. Funny enough, this is a reverse grumpy sunshine, because Aria is the grumpy sunshine. It's usually the guy, and Chase is the happy-go-lucky one. Chase is the one that's like the sunshine. He's always flirty, happy. He's the guy that everybody likes being around because he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. Aria, because of the things Aria has been through, Aria has come to college, and she wants to essentially, she has her plans that she wants to do. She's a singer, musician, and her goal is to finish her art program and then become a musician artist. She has a following already, but they don't know who she is yet. Her followers don't know who she is yet, because she's one of those what is it called? She's one of those people who have like they don't show their face when it comes to social media. So people fall in love with the music, but they don't know what she looks like. Aria has come to college for a fresh start. She's used to being her mom's like safe space. Her mom's like second, like essentially a partner, ever since her dad up and left. One of the things that I liked about this book is that they don't talk about often is when people make their children become their partners, essentially, or they create like son husbands, or like daughter wives. And essentially Arya's mom, that's what she does. Ever since the dad has left in middle school for the past 5 years, Arya has been her mom's like partner in life, and leaning on her whenever she needs to. And Arya took this opportunity to get as far away from home as possible, so she can have her own identity and her own like figure out her life and what she wants to do. And that's very hard, you know, because you love your parent and you want to be there for them, but at the same time you want to find out who you are and you want to build a life for yourself. And I'm happy that Aria had the mindset to do that, because other people would have stayed and been like, you know what, I'm going to stay and help my mom, and I'm just going to go to community college, and I'm just going to do that. But like, to be able to say, you know what, I want to go to this school who in Colorado that has this great program where I can grow as an individual and I can have the art that I want, is I think that was one of the things that I took away from this book that was so amazing. So yes, so Aria and Chase, they know each other from middle school. They actually had a crush on each other in middle school, and then things changed for both him and her. So for Arya, dad left, became mom's like, you know, partner, and she had to leave school because they could no longer afford where they were living. So they had to go move in with her grandmother until they figured out their life. And then Chase went from being, you know, being able to, was going to like, he always liked Arya. They were partners when they were in middle school, and he was actually going to ask her to be his girlfriend. But unfortunately, you know, Arya didn't come back to school, so he didn't get a chance to ask her out. And, you know, but seeing her again when they meet in the library was so cute, because he was like, here's my second chance. I never thought I would see her again. Here's my second chance to get to know her and make her mine. And I like that she was, I don't know, there's something about a grumpy sunshine and like somebody who's like, I don't care what you say, I like you, and we're going to do this banter. And that is Chase. So Arya, you know, obviously gives him a hard time in the beginning, but you know, it's like, okay, here's my old crush and he's back. Like, what do I do with that? And you know, it's so cute to see like their banter. But you know, obviously she runs away from him, and you know, he one thing about Chase, he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna see her, but I'm going to see her. And one day Arya is in the music room, and she doesn't allow people to see her talent, which, you know, when you're shy, people uh, when you're shy and you've been through things like Arya has, it's very hard to let people in. And here's this guy who wants to be let in. So that's very hard of trying to balance it out. So she goes into the music room, and he hears her, you know, he hears her singing. And he's one of the few people that get to see her talent in the beginning, and it scares her, and she's like, oh my god, like I didn't think anybody was in here. And he tells her how amazing she is. And you know, I do like that, you know, they get to talking and they get to knowing each other, and it's so cute because like as they getting to know each other, and it's like they almost forget other people around, and they almost forget like to do the exchange of phone numbers. So they're hanging out. He pulls her up to dance. It's so cute. And you know, as they go their separate ways, he remembers, oh shit, I didn't ask this girl for her phone number. Like, I like this girl, but I haven't asked her. And he does the cutest thing that I didn't even know people still do today. He looked her up by her student email, and was like, he said something like, I don't know if this is stalker-ish, but like I didn't have your number, and I really wanted to like hang out with you and go on a date, but good morning, or send good morning text, but like I didn't have your number, so I found your email. That is so spanking adorable. Okay, like throughout this book I was like, ugh, I know they eventually get each other's number, but I was like, ugh, the email is so spanking cute. And what I love is that it's just effortless. Like when they're together, it's effortless. They see each other at a party, they're just into each other. And another thing that I love is that Arya meets Arya's roommate, which is Rain, purple hair. She's like, listen, you're my best friend. I'm here for you. I'll wait till you catch up, but I'm here for you. And people like Arya need people like that are a little bit pushy. Like, you're so used to being by yourself and doing everything by yourself that the moment that you get somebody like a best friend or something, like, you don't know what to do with that. And thank God that Rain is the way she is, because Rain really has her back. And I love that. And it eventually becomes her best friend, which is so amazing. So Arya has this showcase coming up that she has to prep for. And she gets her dad reaches out to her. At first, obviously, she's skeptical because he's not been in her life since she was a kid, and all of a sudden, you want to reach out. Even he tried to do it through the mom, and reach out. And my thing is this: if you know you're not going to be present and accountable as a parent, then leave people alone. I don't understand people who do this thing where I want to inflict pain constantly on you. I never understood people like that, because here's this girl trying to heal her life and get her life together, and you're even listed in her phone as deadbeat, because that's what you are. You left your pregnant wife, who was 7 months pregnant, and your daughter so that you can chase whatever dream, and not even think to take them along, or even to check on them as you were whatever dream. I People like that make me want to just I just ugh. But anyways, so her dad decides that he wants to try and get back into her life, and he wanted to go to her showcase. And he's like, give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance. And eventually she does say yes, because sometimes we do yearn for our parents' approval, and they see that and they realize that, okay, she wants my approval, and that's my way in. Chase was under. Chase wanted to be an artist. He's really good at art, and he could really do something with that. And unfortunately, when your parents have a different um when your parents have a different plan for your life, and they start that really early, and it's not what you want to do, you become resentful. And the thing about Chase's dad is everything is about political. And that's not, and that's, unfortunately, that's just a life that he unfortunately lives at the moment. So Chase eventually and Arya eventually go on a date. It's a very sweet date. He tapped into what he liked to do, and he went and took her on a date where he kind of expresses himself through his art. And I thought that was really nice to see, him say, you know what, I want you to know a piece of me, the real me, instead of, the guy that everybody sees. And I thought that was really, really nice. And I thought that was really, really sweet. And them getting to know each other it was just so sweet moment, like him really being vulnerable and her letting her guard down, because when you have people that constantly let you down and leave, it's very hard to be vulnerable and let people in who want to be there. And I'm very happy that Arya did that and allowed she to see a part of him and he to see a part of her, which was really nice. And of course, as the story goes on, Chase Arya plans an adventure, because that's what their dates are called. They're called adventures. And unfortunately, Chase forgot that he's supposed to have a political dinner with his dad, so he ended up canceling with Arya. And I felt bad for her because she was going to show part of herself and have these moments with Chase. And, you know, parents really sucked in this book, especially the dads really sucked in this book. And because he had the obligation to the dinner, he wasn't able to go on the date. And that drifted them apart for at least, I think, a month, where they didn't speak to each other. And it was just sad to like read, because it's like when you finally get where you think you want to go with each other, and then somebody just ruins it. And that's essentially what happens. And then when Chase is running for president. It comes to the day, you know, votes, and they're announcing who's going to be president. And I did like that Aria did show up for him, even though that they weren't talking. And he was more interested in, when he saw her there, he was so much more interested in her being there than actually what was the candidate. Because yes, he liked what he did, but he didn't like it that much. He wants to be a painter, and he wants Aria. Those are the things that make him happy. And he was doing this for his dad's approval. And when he lost, like, his dad just left. His dad didn't even give a damn like how he felt, or like he didn't even say anything. And he didn't talk to his son for a long time. And thank God that, you know, Chase had Aria and his friends around him to like be there for him. But like, to not even say anything as a parent, that's crazy to me. That is like 100% crazy to me. Like, it just like, I just felt so bad for him, because it's like, it's not even, oh son, next time, or I'm not even, I think he, even if he would have said, you know, son, I'm disappointed, it would have said something. But the fact that he didn't say anything is crazy to me. But it's like, you can't always put what you want for your kids onto them if it's not what they want. And Chase clearly didn't want this path. He really didn't want this path. So, fast forward, it is Aria's big day, her debut, and she's nervous, of course, because she is finally going to, you know, perform in front of everybody. And, you know, she's been talking to her dad, and he's been showing up more. And the fact that he didn't come to this performance is crazy. Why put in all that effort just to not show up? That's crazy to me. And for Chase finally decided that, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on myself. And he changed his major to art education, if I'm not mistaken, with a minor in criminal justice. And he said, you know what, I'm going to choose me, and I'm going to choose what makes being happy. And after he changes his degree, he goes and he meets Aria, and he's just in time for her performance, and he gives her a lovely pep talk, and she goes out on stage and she kills her performance. And I'm so happy to read that she actually took that leap of faith, because I know I couldn't do it. I would have stage fright like nobody's business. But the fact that it worked out for her is amazing. So after her performance, she hangs out with her new best friend, which is Rain, which is her roommate, Maddie, who's her friend, Chase, who is her boyfriend, his friends, and you know, as they're enjoying themselves, they go back to the dorm because he's going to help her take out her braids. Now, for me, taking out a woman's braids as a man is a very intimate act. I don't know how anybody else feels, but that to me has always been a very intimate act. And if you're not about it, don't do it, because taking out braids take time, and there's like conditioners and stuff depending on how tangled your hair. I think she said she had it in for like 3 months, so it was really tangled, right? So I just, the fact that he was like, listen, I'm not ready to be without you right now. I'm gonna help you take down this braids. And you know, even though Chase has locks, braids and locks are two different things. And the fact that he stuck with it and did it with her, that's amazing. So as they're doing this, she gets a call from her dad, and he shows up to her dorm drunk. And once again, an opportunity takes precedent over your daughter. And she decides that, you know what, I'm going to set a boundary and I'm no longer your child. Just forget about me. And I don't blame her. Sometimes you need to set a boundary with people, even if they're your blood, because they will take advantage. They leave scars that they don't realize is there. And people like that don't need to be in your life. And I love that Chase and Rain, they protected her, because even after that interaction, he tried to call her even through the it's like, no, I'm setting a boundary. You don't deserve me at all. So I absolutely love that. And then eventually, you know, Chase has a conversation with his parents that he needed, letting them know, like, listen, this political atmosphere that you guys have put me in, it's crippling and it's destroying me. And I don't want to do this anymore. And the conversation went a different way than I thought, because I thought that it was going to be, if you don't do this political thing, then I'm going to cut you off and you have to figure it out on your own. And the fact that his parents tried to understand, that's a step in the right direction. And I love that in the end, for Chase, Chase got the degree he wanted, he got the girl he wanted, and he got his parents where he needed them to be. And the same thing for Aria. She got the 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 boy that she wanted. She eventually showed her face on her social media so that everybody can see the face behind the music that they have been loving. She gained a best friend. She gained friends. She gained the man. I love that. And then the epilogue was even more beautiful at their wedding. I think that this was a very good book. And if you haven't got a chance, please go ahead and read this book. It is college students finding themselves, setting boundaries. And I think if this is her first book, my dear, this is a great start. Great start. I gave this book 4 stars. Um, and it was just a good story. It was a good young love romance. But that's all I have for this book. It was a really good book. I have more videos that I need to upload from the books that I've been reading, but I just want to say Love Unfinished was a great palate cleanser. Aristone, I think that's how you pronounce your last name. I do apologize if I get it wrong. This was a very good book. If you guys get a chance to read this book, definitely let me know your thoughts. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.